Every Call of Duty game is jam-packed with stuff for you to do, to mess around with, but do you ever see something in a Call of Duty game and you think to yourself, hey self, who the heck thought of putting this in here? Why would they do that? Well, welcome to the Every COD series, everybody. Chaos here, welcome to the page. Do me a favor, make sure you are following with notifications on, and we are going to check out the dumbest feature in every single Call of Duty game from COD 4 all the way through Black Ops Cold War. I want you to keep in mind, just because something is dumb doesn't mean it was bad. It just means it was completely unexpected, although a lot of these are going to be pretty bad, so set yourself up. Drop a like, everybody. Let's start off with COD 4. I'm going to go with the blue perk category. Now, in the comment section, you guys can let me know what you think is the dumbest feature in each one as well. Now, I'm just going to put the entire blue perk category here, okay? COD 4 was the first game to give us perks, and to be absolutely fair to them, they had no idea what would be good and what would be bad. But when you look at the blue perk category in the game, somebody should have raised their hand during development to point out a few issues. The blue perk had some of the most obnoxious perks in COD history. Frag times 3, stun times 3, claymore times 2, RPG times 2. It basically gave you free access to some of the most annoying things in the entire game, and on certain maps, frag times 3 and stun times 3 were straight up game breaking. So, as for the dumbest feature in COD 4, I give the crown to the entire blue perk category for all the headaches that it caused everybody. Everybody do me a favor so you don't get a headache when it comes to using the right controller. Use code CHAOS with anything SCUF, whether it be your dream controller, whether it be accessories, merch, it doesn't matter. Link is at the top of the description. Let me know if you use it, and thank you to everybody that has used the code throughout the years. Now we arrive at World at War. Let's go with drum mags. Yeah. Extended mags and drum mags are kind of a staple of Call of Duty now, but if you played World at War way back in the day, you probably understand why they're on the list. Now, extended mags usually give you a handful of extra shots for your gun, like an extra 40 or 50%. But in World at War, Treyarch, I don't know what they were doing. They went crazy with extended mags, and for most guns, they would double your mag size. This means guns like the MP40 and the PPSH, you could have over 60 rounds in the mag, just spraying away to your little heart's content. Now, this was the early days of COD, so to be absolutely fair, Treyarch didn't know drum mags were going to break the game as much as they did, but World at War drum mags were way more annoying than any other extended mag in COD history. They were just way too big, especially on guns like the MP40. They were just too strong. Okay, this next one, there's no sugarcoating, and I'm not going to be fair at all. Modern Warfare 2, one-man army. I mean, really, whose bright idea was this? Like, how did nobody at Infinity Ward realize how easily exploitable this was? As you probably know, if you don't, let me tell you. One-Man Army was a blue perk that would allow you to change your class without dying. Within mere hours of Modern Warfare 2 being out, people figured out you could use the perk to infinitely resupply your grenades and your noob tube ammo, which gave birth to one of the most annoying strategies in COD history. Sit in a corner or on top of high-rise and infinitely fire noob tubes across the map for free nukes. One-Man Army never returned in another COD game. Shocker, it's not hard to see why. Had a lot of things in that game that people hated, Commando Lunge, but I don't think any of them were quite as despised as One-Man Army. Now we arrive at Black Ops 1, the first Black Ops. Custom emblems. Now before you dislike the video, let me be clear. I love custom emblems in COD, and I think it should be a staple feature of the franchise, but Treyarch was trying hard to stay on top of all the inappropriate emblems people made in Black Ops 1, and I have to ask, what did you think was going to happen when you let the COD community make their own emblems? Custom emblems obviously came with a horde of trolls, making offensive ones and then throwing them up on file share, and I respect Treyarch's effort to try to keep the game clean, but they probably should have seen this one coming a mile away. Next up is Modern Warfare 3. Death streaks. They were introduced in Modern Warfare 2, and they were definitely one of the most annoying parts of the entire multiplayer, but they were weirdly buffed in Modern Warfare 3, and they quickly became the most hated part of the game. Now, Modern Warfare 3 death streaks were very powerful. Many of them were actually just buffed out versions of their counterparts from Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 had 4 death streaks. Modern Warfare 3 had 6, and the new ones, well, Dead Man's Hand and a buff version of Final Stand. I'll let you determine if these were dumb. I understand the need for death streaks to a degree. I know they help the lesser skilled players in a fight, but come on. I mean, Modern Warfare 3 was trying to be more balanced as an experience, but the death streaks, nah. Nope, nada. Let's move on. Black Ops 2. Who remembers Strike Force missions? Now, Black Ops 2 is remembered by most people to have one of the best campaigns in COD history. I agree with that. But there's one aspect of the campaign nobody talks about. It's those weird Strike Force missions. They were side missions that played more like a base defense than actual COD, and they would give you some extra bonuses if you perform well. They were just weird, and honestly, I think they just kind of messed up the pacing of the story in general. Almost every COD campaign will have some unique feature to make it stand out from the rest of the series, but I think the Strike Force missions were just pace killers. I know some people enjoyed them, and that's okay, but if you ask me, they should have been part of a bonus mode as opposed to interrupting the campaign to make you actually do it. Call of Duty Ghost. Fish AI. No, I'm kidding. It's squad points. Now, COD Ghost changed a lot of stuff in the COD formula, but this is one that really didn't have to change. Instead of doing the regular linear progression system in multiplayer, Ghost went for squad points as a system which allowed you to unlock pretty much any gun at any time as long as you had the currency to do so. On one hand, this meant you could get the stuff you wanted a lot quicker. But on the other hand, this also meant there was no progression, which made the experience a lot less exciting. One of the main appeals of COD multiplayer is grinding through the levels, unlocking all the guns one at a time, hitting the prestige button, and doing it all over again. But in Call of Duty Ghost, you really don't have that because there's no real order in which you unlocked your guns. I get what they were going for. They wanted to shake up the formula, let you pick your order of progression, but ultimately, that ended up making the grind a lot less exciting in Call of Duty Ghost because after you unlocked the stuff you wanted, there was no reason to grind. Now, I'm going to get some hate for this one, but here we go. Advanced Warfare, Exo Zombies. Now, Advanced Warfare didn't launch with a Zombies mode. Instead, their third mode was Exo Survival, and Exo Zombies were added a little while after launch. Now, in the COD Zombies community, Exo Zombies was kind of the black sheep. I know there are going to be people on this video that say it's the best zombies of all time. Just hear me out. It exists in its own timeline for the rest of the franchise, so none of the characters or events here actually mattered in the grand scheme of things. Yes, there was some attachable characters in the storyline, but with the addition of exosuits and advanced movement, I mean, the mode played very different from other zombie modes. It isn't bad. It's not bad at all. I just think it kind of fits the bill of being a we didn't expect this crazy feature. I don't think anybody probably would have been too upset if Advanced Warfare didn't have zombies. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally off base, and maybe it was the best zombies mode ever. You guys let me know. Next up, Black Ops 3 Nightmare Mode. It's another example of a just unexpected, kind of dumb feature. It's actually ended up being... okay, whatever, Jimmy, you're a liar. It was pretty cool. Nightmare Mode was a variant of the Black Ops 3 campaign. It added zombies, power weapons. It basically turned it into a hybrid of the campaign and zombies. Now, given the fact that Black Ops 3's campaign was already ridiculous and nonsensical, the addition of zombies, I guess it wasn't really out of place. I mean, it's not like we're going to go pay attention to the game story anyway, right? Nightmare Mode made this campaign pretty cool, I guess, and while I think it was kind of a dumb idea, seriously, I mean, I don't know. I guess it was a dumb, awesome idea. I mean, the Black Ops 3 campaign sucked. So I guess it was nice to have a bonus mode like this to give it a little extra fun factor. Infinite Warfare. The variants. Let me say it again. The variants. The game had so many weapon variants, and honestly, I think a lot of people would have fonder memories of this game if they scrapped the variant system altogether. Advanced Warfare was the first game to have weapon variants, but Infinite Warfare made them much, much more part of the game, which that rubbed people the wrong way. Every single gun in the game had like 10 different variants, and by the time the game had been out for a year, there were so many different attributes that you couldn't keep up. Forget the game being pay to win. There was just way too much going on here, and almost every weapon variant had traits that you would never even... you would be able to see them coming if you were on the receiving end. It was dumb. You know what else is dumb? COD World War II's headquarters. Now, it seemed like a decent idea on paper, but the way it was implemented, no. Not only was it insanely buggy for the first month when it came out, but a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Some of the features didn't work. Sometimes loading would crash your game, and then there was always the one guy blasting music through his mic, and everybody in the headquarters got to listen to him. And it wasn't until a few months after the game came out that Sledgehammer finally made loading into the headquarters optional as opposed to necessary. It could have been cool, but the way it was implemented was pretty inconvenient. The bugginess just kind of made it seem rushed. Black Ops 4. Specialist headquarters. Yep. Black Ops 4 was the first COD game ever to not have a single-player campaign, kind of. Specialist Headquarters was a replacement for the campaign. It would have you do these little tutorials with each character, and as a reward, you got some cutscenes that vaguely tied everything together. Now, I have to ask, at that point, why not just make a campaign? Specialist HQ was so basic and the story was so shallow, you'd have to wonder why Treyarch included it all. I know the campaign had to be cut, and I know Activision wanted their own Battle Royale mode, but if you're not going to put a lot of effort into it, why even do it at all? Modern Warfare 2019. Skill-based matchmaking. Now, it's not the first COD to have skill-based matchmaking. It won't be the last, but it was the first one to make it an essential aspect of the multiplayer. It was more stricter than anything we've seen in COD, and it completely screwed with other aspects of matchmaking. No more post-game lobbies, no more map voting, no more single-mode playlist. It was all thrown into this big bin just so the noobs could have a safe space. Yep, so they could play each other and everybody else could sweat it out like COD champs. I've already said my piece on skill-based matchmaking a million times, so I'm not going to say it again, but dumb. And finally, Black Ops Cold War. Now, this hurts. League play. After months of Black Ops Cold War being out with no rank mode and Treyarch constantly reassuring everybody it's coming, League play was added to the game in February of 2021. And there's a lot of people that aren't happy with it. The current ranking system in it makes no sense. You have pro players winning all their placement matches and then getting putting in the lowest skill ranking. You have mediocre players going 2 and 3 in their placements and getting in the high ones. It's been revealed that the ranking system is based more on time played than actual performance. Now, that's the complete opposite of how a ranked mode works. Treyarch does seem committed to fixing Cold War League play, but the way it launched? Come on. I mean, when are we going to get to a point where stuff launches right instead of having to fix it on the fly? There you go, my friends. Dumbest features, COD history. I'll see you soon.